Oh, Todd, as a millennial, as a geriatric millennial, it pains me so much to say that I have downloaded a new social media app,
Hmm.
but I did. I did. I am on board with this Threads trend, train. I don't know. Is it here to stay? Who's to say?
You know what? With the money of Meta, I'm gonna say they're gonna be around for a bit, right? I mean, there's social media companies sort of come and go, but I think this one's gonna at least stick around and put up a really good fight. And I think what's so interesting about this is, in a lot of ways, that the space that was created for the interest for something like Thread to come along, was really kind of, in my opinion, kind of tied back to one person, and that's Elon Musk. I mean, he's the one
Yeah.
who bought Twitter. He's the one who made all these changes. He's the one who's become a divisive and polarizing figure in the way people view him. And I think all of that has sort of led up to this window where people are like looking to jump onto something that
Give
looks
me
like
a
Twitter.
reason. Yes, give me a reason to leave. But when I tell you again, geriatric millennial and all, I love Twitter. I think news breaks there very quickly. I think some people aren't the best on the internet breaking news, but people
Yeah.
are very smart, can be very funny. I think Twitter is probably my favorite social media app, or was anyway, until, like you said, all of the Elon ups and downs. And I think last weekend he changed his mind at least twice, maybe three times, on the number of tweets you were going to be allowed to see per day. And I mean,
Yeah.
I know he's trying to be profitable and he's trying to make Twitter profitable.
True.
But in the meantime, thousands of people are just along the ride on this roller coaster, and they're very quickly wanting to get off, it looks like.
Yeah, it's so funny. You think about social media, and this is not my take. This is something I heard someone else's take, and I don't forget who I heard it from. So forgive me. But the thing that I think separated Twitter apart, because I agree with you, is especially as news people, it was great. It was like a news feed in a lot of ways,
Yes,
and a lot
yes.
of news broke from news organizations, but also people who are worth following. But the thing about Twitter is and was it was very empowering, right? You could tweet, at the president of the United States, or you could tweet at Southwest Airlines if your flight got canceled. You could tweet at whatever organization it was and maybe get a response, maybe get followers because of it. And everyone was kind of had their own little island, in a lot of ways, in which they had control. And I think when Elon came in and he made these changes, whether it was a blue check mark or the restrictions on the number of tweets you could view, all of a sudden people felt like, all right, I'm no longer in control of this thing. It's no longer empowering. I don't. This is. I'm being subjected to the whims of someone else who I may love, or I may, in many cases, people don't like. And so I think, looking at this from a messaging standpoint, we were talking about it before, it's an example of, if you're an entrepreneur, if you own your own company and you are the face and the name of that company, there are a lot of great things that come along with that, but also there are some pitfalls. And this is an example. I mean, this is an atomic bomb sort of example of the pitfalls that come along with, if you are your own brand. And that is when you start stepping into sort of the political arena and start stepping into all these, controversial issues, whether it's about vaccinations or whatever,
Climate
um,
change.
climate change.
He was tweeting about that the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. You reap kind of what you sow, in that there are people who are going to love you for it, but there are people who are going to really start to despise you for it. And you're going to become divisive. Whereas, like, I think about Michael Jordan, right? I mean, I don't know if I think this is accurate because it's been repeated so many times about, how come you aren't more, outspoken for, African Americans and sort of liberal causes that sort of align typically more often than not with Democrats, right? And he said, well, because Republicans buy sneakers too, and so from a branding and marketing on the face of this thing, that's one way to look at it, versus Elon obviously taking a different turn. And I think that's kind of what created the space for a lot of people to jump ship.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, really just giving Facebook, Meta, Instagram the reins to, if we're being copy and paste, it was a copy and paste. It looks very, very similar, but easier. It was one click. Hey, do you want us to import all of your information here
Mm.
and create everything for you? I'm like, yes, actually. Thank you very much. I do not want to do that at all by myself.
It's right
And
from
it
Instagram, right?
right from Instagram. And
Yeah.
I downloaded it last night, and I've been seeing more and more people following suit. And I think the big thing that I'm waiting for is how many news organizations, how many influencers, how many celebrities are going to not just sign on, but actually actively use it, right? Because
Yeah.
that's like you were saying, that's what people want. They want to be able to tweet at Southwest or Wendy's or the president. So we'll see if people are going to, put their money where their mouth is and actually hang out there. But I have to say Elon gave them all the runway to make
Yeah.
this happen.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I think I don't know really kind of what changed for Twitter for me and my personal use, but it is a lot more difficult to navigate in terms of getting the things that I want to get to. And I'm not quite sure what changed. Obviously, that's well above my pay grade in just sort of determining that. But I know that there's a huge difference when I get on Twitter now and what I see, the types of things that I see versus the things that I used to see a year ago. And so yeah, I mean, I'm one of those guys, one of those people that I will definitely sign on to Thread, and I will give it a shot, and I will see if it's kind of like what Twitter used to be, and what take the best parts of Twitter and sort of mix them with something else.
Here's hoping.